What can you say to your child to empower him? What can you say to your student to inspire him? What can you say to your friend to give him more strength to overcome challenges? You are free. You will say, well, we all live, thank God, in a free society. It will be no news to anyone to hear something like this. I'm not sure. In our culture, people are always talking about freedom, but while discussing this issue, we only refer to a small sliver of it, freedom from other people. But evil dictators and slave owners are far from the only thing that can limit us. While we are talking about our liberty, we are constantly backing ourselves into the corner of our own limitations. I know I have to do it, but it is just not my style. That's why I can't. I wish I could behave differently, but that's how I was raised. I understand that this trait is not good, but what can I do? I was born that way. I just can't get over myself. This is just my habit. I just can't change myself. I have no choice. And everything we study only supports this line of thinking. Psychology explains how our childhood experiences affect us today. That is, how we are programmed, how we are limited. Biology explains our genetics and our characteristics that we were born with. Again, this is how we are programmed, how we are limited. The social sciences explain how our society influences us. Again, the same thing. How can I feel free if I focus on these limitations all day long? As I study the Torah, I remind myself that I always have freedom of choice. The Jewish law states that a person is always responsible for his actions. And this is because each one of us has a body and a soul. My body, like everything material, has a lot of limitations. If I were only my body, I would not have any freedom because my body is truly programmed. But I also have a soul. And soul is above all of these limitations. It is free. It is true that I have my genetics and characteristics I was born with. It is true that my experiences from my childhood affect me today. It is true that my society influences me, but none of them can control me. All they can do is push me in a certain direction. Because of them, it may be easier for me to do something. But I always have the last word. Not the society, and not the teacher who yelled at me when I was in first grade. Our Western culture is obsessed with freedom, but while screaming about freedom from other people, we focus all the time, more and more, on our own limitations. Why? It relieves us from our responsibilities. If I was born this way, then why are you demanding from me something else? If this is how I was raised, then it's not my fault. If our society influenced me, then I'm not responsible. People don't want to hear about their freedom from these elements because it makes them fully accountable for their actions. And this is how we voluntarily make ourselves being controlled. Judaism reminds us every day that we are free people. I am not only a programmed body, but I am also a free soul. And I always have a free choice.